Recorded live from a previously unfinished attic in downtown Monroe, this is Drawing Bigger Circles, where we dig into what's going on behind the scenes and out in the streets of the city of Monroe. My name is Stephen Stegall, and I'm the chairperson for Change for Monroe, and we're the grassroots organization that seeks to connect neighbors to neighbors through political engagement, civic education, and a myriad of community service opportunities. And as always, I'm joined by my producer, the apparently unapproachable yet very attainable Kevin Daniels.
Very true, very true. I just want to remind you that we are on camera for the first time today, so everyone's going to see you reading that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, I expect people to think that I don't come off with the dome with every witty and entertaining thing that I say. So obviously some of this stuff has to be scripted. So we are, like you mentioned, we are doing this for the first time with camera and new-ish equipment.
Yeah, the equipment's about 8 or 9 months old, but I just figured out how to use it.
Hey, steps forward.
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. We don't have the fancy studio and background that the mayor does. It's
right. Yeah,
as you mentioned, a previously unfinished attic.
Yes. Well, this is all in this. I don't know what step we're in right now, but third step is always world domination.
Correct. So
we're
first
one step closer.
Get the soundboard working.
Yes.
Step 2, question mark.
Question mark.
Step 3, world domination.
There we go. All right. Well on our way, and great job getting all this stuff going. So for all people that are watching and listening, hopefully this is a better experience than our first 2 episodes.
And the yet to be aired third
episode. That was so I want to do a little bit of housekeeping before we kind of get into some of this other topics that we're going to discuss. But the first thing is apologize to Dottie Nash.
Yeah, she was so fabulous. It was a great interview and so informative.
Yeah. And
I fucked it up.
And it seemed like she had a good time too. That was a good thing about it. She was very worried about it coming over here, and I think that we with our demeanor and our approachability. We made her calm very quickly, and she was able to spill the beans on the ins and outs of Monroe politics. But and this good thing about having guests like that is because they have the experience to talk about those things. And I hate to use this term, old guard, but she does kind of represent a bit of the old guard in Monroe. Apologies, Dottie, it's not age appropriate.
I don't think she's coming back.
I'm not considering the age there, but I promise you that's not what I mean by that. But it is. I kind of consider her to be a generation before us who are now, having to take the mantle and step into the roles that the city needs us to step into to keep it running smoothly and whatnot.
Dottie, just to be clear, that was not a consensus that we discussed ahead of time. I feel like you and I are in the same generation, and Steven's just trying to act younger than he is because he has a full beard of hair.
Right. Yeah. So, all right. Well, another thing that I wanted to maybe go into before we get into the meat of the discussion today was Monroe events, and this is something that we have kind of promised to you guys, but really have never put into podcast form. But I want to just I basically just went to Monroe's Facebook, or their Monroe City, is it cityofmonroe.org? I think I should.
Something along those lines. I'll link it up on the website.
Yeah, there you go. But you go to their events page, and there's a calendar there with all kinds of cool stuff there. And I'm not going to, just recite off everything, but there's a couple of things that I thought might need to be highlighted because honestly, I've never heard of this stuff. There's particular events that they have for teens. And they kind of rotate between, I think it's 4 different venues where they hold these things. So again, look those up for specifics. I'm being very general here, but I thought it was really cool because they have basketball, pool tournaments, video games, music, food, prizes, and more. But it's directly, it's geared directly towards, I should say, the teens in our community. They have all kinds of cool activities that that teens would find. What do they say?
Hip.
I guess.
Poppin'?
Skibbity toilet or something like that.
Skibbity toilet.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Yeah, none of these events have that Ohio ridge.
No. So anyway, something to check out on the calendar. Also too, Monroe Aquatic Center, they often have social events and it's usually for about an hour at a time, and I think it's just where a lot of people can just kind of come in and get some socialization. I feel like that is probably geared more towards the older community, but I don't.
Wow, you're just going after the geriatrics today, ain't you?
Yeah, that's right. So speaking of geriatrics, there's also car shows. Just kidding, car show guys. I'm sure there are some very young folks out there showing off their classic cars. But there's also like sports car things and stuff like that. But two events that are coming up for the Music on Main, as a matter of fact, there's a local artist called Crystal King. Apparently she's a country star, or maybe a rising country star, maybe not quite a star yet, maybe I don't know, secondary planet of some sort. But anyway, she's, I've listened to a couple of her videos today. She's got a really good voice. I've never heard of her before, but that's also coming up on the 25th. And then in August, they're having a Carolina beach music band called the Embers. And so again, look up on the calendar for all that stuff. And part of the reason why I want to mention this to you guys too is because we want to be like Change from Monroe, I should say. We want to be present at a lot of these events, and it would be really cool if we could get members of our organization to attend these places locally. Maybe we can do some volunteering and stuff like that, and show up in like Change from Monroe shirts, just so we can.
On sale now.
Yes, thank you. Always be selling, right? Always be closing.
Closing. I thought you were trying to make a difference.
Yeah. But no, that is true though. I mean, you can support us by by buying T-shirts, $35, I believe, on our website, and all of that proceeds go to making things like this, and also
none of this money has gone to any of this equipment and all this stuff. This has come out of our pocket so far. We want to use that money to unseat Burns, so we are kind of setting ourselves up for that.
Yeah.
But in the future, yes, hopefully we can do some fundraising. We can get some money to kind of pay for the website and. Some social media advertising,
right? Yeah.
And some top secret election ideas that we've had, like billboards and palm cards and stuff like that. So.
And if you want to be a part of all this, you can help us conspire, as a matter of fact.
And yes, we're looking for co-conspirers.
Yeah,
co-conspirators.
Yes.
I don't know. Where's the list? So the idea is we want to raise money because if we think about this on a very small scale, the mayor has about $30,000, I think he raised. Yeah. That we know of, and we're sitting somewhere about 100.
Yes.
And so if we want to compete with him, we don't need $30,000. We need like $4,000.
No, and
we got a year and a half to do it, and if 200 people sent us $10 a month, we would be able to crush the mayor and all of his friends and make them leave Monroe in a very, very fast pace.
Yes, tails between legs and all those good things. So again, buy a shirt, show up downtown with your shirt on, and hopefully someone will ask you, hey, what the hell has changed from Monroe? And you can be like, it's just a social group full of guys or gals who are trying to make a difference in their community and make it more...
Come out and have a beer with us.
Yeah, there you go.
I would like to say that there is a secondary effect to wearing a shirt downtown, is that if the mayor sees you, he will get angry.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks kind of would leap on that kind of idea too.
Yeah, he'll probably cut you inside out. So another couple things that are coming up for us specifically, I have been in talks with some clients from the Council on Aging, and Council on Aging is it's kind of what it sounds like. They service some of the more elderly in our community, and
wow.
You're
back on that.
I know, I just can't get away from it. Like I would say it's like needy, but it's not necessarily just that. People are needy because of their condition.
We're just going to put an age restriction on this one. No one under the age of 70 is allowed to listen to this
Steven's
podcast.
foot is firmly in his mouth the entire time. I mean, I like walk around like that. So anyway, the aged of us cannot be any more derogatory. Anyway, a couple of needs that that this community is constantly asking for is like landscaping. So that would be like yard mowing, just to kind of keep just so it looks nice and the neighbors aren't complaining and things like that. But also something that they've recently kind of put towards me is handrails. You'd be surprised, obviously, how important things like handrails are for people who just have mobility issues because, you know, a set of stairs can be, you know, really dangerous for somebody who's like got, you know, bad knees or hips or something like that. So handrails are just something that like helps out, you know, a lot of these people out and just become, aids them in being more independent and safe and things like that in their own home. So, like I'll mention today, so I went and talked to 3 different families over the last little bit. Ruth and Hubert were absolutely wonderful people. I got Ruth's and Hubert. Hubert is he's experiencing some dementia now, so he was a lot less talkative than Ruth. But within about 6 minutes, I got Ruth's entire biography, and let me tell you, it is wonderful. Like these two, over the years, have given to their community through church and a lot of these other organizations, and at this point now, they've kind of, again, they've aged out of being able to do this appropriately and safely, and so I feel like, you know, we are now stepping into this role as far as like being these, you know, kind of givers within the community, and it just, you know, really sitting down with these two just kind of opened my eyes to the need, really, but also to like really solidify our mission. Wonderful people. I'd love to help them. I just watch the Facebook page because like once I get the materials lined up and things like that, we're going to be putting that out on the Facebook page, asking for volunteers, asking for donations, things like that. So again, this is just another way that we're trying to help the community. So
there you go.
And just to extend on that just a touch, the Council on Aging, at the moment, a lot of these services, the agreement is that the clients provide the money for the materials, and we would, being the volunteers, provide the labor to make all this stuff happen. I will tell you that, like, I presented that to Ruth yesterday, and she was going to have to like put the materials on a credit card. And that really just kind of broke my heart, and it just opened my eyes again to like that particular arrangement is probably just not going to be able to, like, it's just not seamless enough for the type of work we want to do. So we are going to try to like fund not only the projects we do, but also provide the labor as well. So again, I hate to keep coming to you guys and like saying we need money, but if you want your money to stay in your community and do good, we are trying to provide that good. And if you would deem us, fortunate to receive your charity dollars, we would, cherish that and put it to good use. So, again, anything to add to that, Kevin, before we move on to more serious topics? Okay.
No.
Thank you for that clarification. Yeah. All right, a couple things that we just really wanted today to kind of like talk about. One big, I guess, topic of discussion that is like kind of like hot in American politics right now, and that is a specific list that has come up missing somehow. Do you want to elaborate on that? For years we've been inundated with the name Epstein, and we have photographic evidence of Never met him.
Never met him. If I did, would have black sharpied his face out of every picture I had.
Right.
But the idea is that there are folks in our community who are very worried about sex traffic and sex predators, and we have an entire file. I mean, he was, I want to say he was still standing trial. He had not been found guilty yet, or was he still, he had been found guilty?
When he was unalived?
When he was unalived by himself.
No, I think he was already guilty.
He was already
pretty sure he was.
His partner,
it was sentencing that I think that he hadn't received yet. I could be wrong about that, but I was almost positive that he was found guilty for that.
Yeah, but his partner, Ms. Maxwell there, she's serving time.
She is serving time and guilty. I may be wrong. Maybe he hadn't been found guilty yet, but he was. I know obviously he was being held for. But I mean, like this file contained her testimony, a list of all the names. They have all the evidence that found her guilty, and then all of a sudden we're told it's a nothing burger overnight. That was very bullshit, quote unquote bullshit.
Yeah. So
and you know.
We have questions. I think the rest of the world does too.
Yeah.
Nobody in this office right here, right now, is surprised by any of this. We're not surprised that this file went missing. We're not surprised that it's once again trying to be swept under the carpet, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. No, and basically it's because, you know, there's a certain mindset that allows let's just call it what it is, conspiracy like this to, you know, kind of take root and then motivate a certain number of people. And I've often, you know, just referred to it as conspiracy brain. And I've called our mayor conspiracy brain because he just falls for every single, you know, I guess just off-color, you know, accusation.
Well, let's take a pause here, because I think this is a perfect time to insert the ongoing debate. We'll call it Kevin v. Stevens.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
pizza toppings, right?
No. That's already settled. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, the debate rages because there are people in leadership positions who know that they're full of shit.
Very much
they're
so.
stringing people along on nonsense.
Yeah.
And we've been watching Michelle Ball and Bobby Burns, flip coin flip.
And Dotson too.
And Dotson to a lesser degree. I mean, he's
a supporting role.
But again,
Yeah.
when it comes to the debate that we're about to have, he knows he's full of shit. Burns and Michelle, that's where we get into the debate. Because they are regurgitating nonsense in order to lead a group of people to false conclusions. And the debate that we continuously have, specifically over our current mayor, is does he know that he's full of shit and regurgitating this nonsense? Or is he a true believer? Does he actually believe the stuff that comes out of his mouth?
So
And
true belief versus cynical manipulation. That's what I was. That's what I wrote down earlier.
all right, yeah, you know, my thesaurus is at home.
There you go.
So the deal, but you know, because we've had this conversation. You sat down, you spoke to the mayor.
Yeah.
And without, you know, going into all the details, one of the observations that you made walking away from it was that he was able to flip the coin, use the correct.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. Yeah,
that was
I thought it was too easy.
that was accidental. But he was able to flip the coin,
Right.
so to speak, and use proper pronouns and respect people's beliefs.
Of course.
In these private meetings.
Well, let's be clear. We didn't have an audience. He wasn't performing.
Right.
It was just
But-
him
but-
not talking.
but again-
having coffee, like humans.
So is he a performing liar, or is he a true believer when it comes to this stuff? Explain.
Yeah, you know.
Thesaurus.
Yeah, no, the more I kind of think about this, I almost think that that it's almost like a false dichotomy. And I hate to be like wishy-washy about this, but I do believe that he is a true believer. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you're less than convinced by that. Like you're less, you don't necessarily think that he's.
I don't know, and that's why I enjoy the conversation about it, because I don't know, and there's no way we're gonna know.
Yeah.
And I'm just interested in hearing what other people think about this, because you say true believer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I mean by true believer is like when I think that he plays both roles, and again, the guy will tell you that he's the same, you know, every day of the week, and you know, no matter who the audience is. I think that's bullshit. I think that he is, as much as you know, people like wanted to kind of like razz certain politicians in this, in our, you know, in our political atmosphere for like code switching and like not being the same person all the time. He'll do the same thing. I mean, he's very much a different person on Twitter as he is on Facebook. We've talked about this. He tries to be more professional on Facebook and be more like, you know, mayor for all people and all this other stuff like that on Facebook, but definitely on Twitter and his podcast. I mean, he does not mind playing those just, I guess, like cultural. He doesn't mind like hitting those cultural hot buttons, like you know. I won't go into.
Let's make it a. Does the mayor believe with his heart that there is inappropriate sexual behavior at a drag show?
Yes, I think he does.
Okay.
I also think that he is using, I think he's blowing out of proportion the like close contact between what are, let's just say, quote unquote children and quote unquote drag queens.
I mean, he's making it up.
Well, yeah, he's obviously making it up.
So again,
What they've done is they've taken they've taken video of like dance moves basically, and taking still shots where they're in their most revealing position, and using that as somehow that's like indicative of every movement that these people are making.
so is he a true believer, or does he know that he's lying? Because again, if you're manipulating photographic evidence like they have, I mean, we've had people in the photograph be like, "Hey, that's me, and I'm 21."
Yeah, no, I get it.
So if they're manipulating the photographs, then it doesn't sound to me like he's a true believer.
Well, there's a common phrase called "lying for Jesus," and I think there's some of that going on. And so here's what I mean by true believer. Here's why I think he is a true believer, and then I'll go into why I think he's also doing the cynical thing.
Nothing but time.
Okay, there we go. So, does he believe that Jesus Christ is his Lord and Savior, and none shall go into heaven if not through Jesus himself and the blood of the Lamb and all that other good stuff? Honestly, I think that he probably is, but I still have a hard time believing that anybody really believes that full, because, what is faith if not believing something that is, not 100% provable? So, again, that type of thing is where I would say, I hate to just, always be backtracking on this type of stuff, but it is. Like, so true belief, yes, I believe that he believes what he says he believes, but I also think that he has talked himself into a certain narrative in order to do the things that he needs to do in order to further his political self and the just awful shit that he wants to do to a certain population of people.
True believer versus not true believer. A true believer doesn't have to manipulate photographic evidence to put out to his followers. He would have real evidence, or he doesn't believe it.
Touche, sir. Yeah. No, again, this is where, even while I'm trying to explain things as far as why I believe that he can occupy both of these spaces at the same time, I think there are always, ways that I'm constantly talking myself out of.
All right. Well, here I'll give another hypothetical.
Yeah, and that's just me being I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, which is what he doesn't do to anybody. When it comes to this, he wants to say that every one of these people are just abusers. Let's just call it that. And any contact with these people and underage people is automatically, by definition, abuse.
Okay, so the hypothetical that I have,
yes.
this will clear it up, so you can stop with all your. When he puts his head down on the pillow at night, or the stone tablet that he forces himself to sleep on, that he has put himself to. I'll stop while you do that, so it doesn't fuck up the audio.
No, you're good. Go ahead. I'm doing it very slow. Yeah, I'm opening a beer for you if you guys didn't know.
Again.
Yeah. I don't know if this is on camera, so go ahead.
The idea that I
was trying to be slick about it. You just totally blew me.
Oh yeah, no, we're not slick. That's the whole deal. We are who we are. So when he puts his head down on the pillow or the bed of nails at night, he's alone with his own thoughts.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And what is he thinking in that moment? Is he thinking, gee, I really got those rubes today, by thinking, oh, this tweet was really great. It really, it got those rubes really fired up, even though I know that I was lying.
Right.
Or is he oh my God, I'm so glad I said that. It needed to be said because it's true.
So thank you for putting that out there. I'm going to say it's the latter.
Gotcha. And the latter for the mayor is, you got the former and the latter. The latter is the one that comes after the former.
Okay.
Got to explain some of these.
Sorry, I forgot who our audience may be.
I'm trying. You know what I mean? I get it. You're a smart dude, but I want the mayor to listen to this, and I want him to understand some of these bigger words that you use to insult him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just concepts that he might not be familiar with. Come on.
Being nice or being a Christian.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. All right, so we settled that. I interrupted another thought to get that debate out of the way. And we're just going to move on.
Oh, are we?
I guess. Well, I looked at you expectantly to start talking about whatever we were talking in that moment.
Well, it was basically, if we want to get back to like the conspiracy brain stuff, that's really where we jumped off at. And I think there's a lot of parallels between if you want to, just call it like the Epstein issue and the thing that our, local, just awful people are trying to push on the population here. So, first off, I think it's very hard for them to maintain a narrative, and that's where you come in. Like when you were coming in saying like they have to manipulate, video and like basically lie about people. That's them trying to control the narrative. Well, it's the same thing with the Epstein thing. Obviously, here lately over the last few days, we've seen, and this is the 25th. I'm sorry, the 15th. Sorry.
Wow.
Wow.
It will be released on the 25th by the time I figure out the rest of it.
Yeah, right. But right now we're kind of watching certain parts of this narrative, this Epstein narrative, kind of unravel right before our eyes, and a lot of people are not. They're appropriately angry at the people who furthered this, for all, and basically made their political careers on this.
Point of order, sir.
Sure.
You said a lot of people are kind of pushing back
and
on the new narrative
that we have here too. So we're going to get into this new disagreement too. So yes, so when Trump dropped that bombshell, sorry, I probably shouldn't mention the T word, but who shall not be named on this podcast ever. When they dropped the bombshell about this, it went off like a lead balloon. Like he expected everybody to kind of fall in line, and it didn't really. And there's a certain, and this is where our disagreement was. I believe that there's a certain segment of the population, let's call it like 30 to 35%, that like he will never go underneath that for his approval, because honestly, let's just call it what it is. There is a cult of personality built around this man, and those people will regurgitate every single thing that he says, and they will go to the mattresses to call anybody else who's outside of that narrative liars, fake news, all this other stuff like that. So, but there was a coalition that got him elected, and certain parts of that coalition are now starting to fray and fracture a little bit, and this is no more obvious than when you watch, like, if you want to call it, a lot of the YouTube channels, they call them the manosphere. So I include like, Andrew Schultz, Joe Rogan. Then there's another handful of these like influencers out there who are at this moment, and I've watched some of the videos of their comments about this, they're not taking the hook. They're not letting the hook set in. They're calling bullshit.
And again, are you saying, are you going to continue a lot?
Okay, that word.
I
you
think
can quibble with that word.
I'm going to say single digits. He lost like 4 supporters in this.
Okay.
So
no, single digits as far as like a percentage of the population.
He lost 4 people. 4 people are no longer going to show up.
Okay.
To his rallies. I guess I kind of want to bring this back to true believer or bullshitter is the mayor. Who has made sexual child exploitation his main raison d'etre, as you said before. Mayor, that was in French.
Jeez.
Every damn thing. But he's obviously got to be upset about this, right? And is he going to push back on the leaders in?
He won't.
No,
Absolutely.
Because true believer or bullshitter?
In this situation, I have to say that he's a bullshitter.
Okay, so
I'm
basically, so I think one of the finalizations, the realities that we are going to set in on is that he can actually morph into what he wants to be for any given moment.
Of course, and that's the cynicalness of what he's doing, because even if so there are some beliefs that he holds true, and some of these beliefs are religious in nature, and those are the things that I feel like. Okay, so let's do this. The beliefs that I feel like he holds and that he is a true believer of. Let's put it that way. I think most of those are like going to be religious. Now, the problem with our political atmosphere that we have right now is that a lot of government has been merged with religious belief, and so they've literally taken the narrative of these conspiracies that they've. Okay, so now there's been nothing proven with Epstein. There are lists and like so much like there's like logs of people who's flown on his plane, right? And there are innuendos and accusations about what.
Ms. Maxwell was convicted off of all these testimonies, these lists.
No, but I'm saying there are definite victims.
So, yes. There is evidence that Epstein was a sex trafficker, and they know who his clients were.
Yes.
That's all been done.
But my point is, you're right about that. Maybe I misspoke. But my point is that there's a lot of like innuendo and conjecture around all the other people that were involved with Epstein that may have been there for different reasons. So, and I'm not at all trying to like cover up for anybody. If anybody's guilty, bring them up. Let's try them and give them their day in court. But
every single one, I don't care what party or religion they are.
Absolutely not.
If they were involved with a sex trafficker, they should be in jail.
Absolutely.
Period.
But the thing about Epstein is that he was a collector of people too. So like and don't get me wrong, some of these people that he was collecting very well could have been persuaded to do heinous acts. But I don't think that every person that traveled with him or went to his island was necessarily a bad person doing bad things. But the narrative that they have, basically it's like 6 separations of Jeffrey Epstein at this point, or so like 6 degrees of Jeffrey Epstein. So anybody who has ever been part of Jeffrey Epstein's not even necessarily his inner circle, but his concentric circles out, they're all guilty by association. Except for one, and he is the one that shall not be named, but has the most evidence of being associated with this guy. So again, like I feel like there's a cynicalness to a lot of this narrative that these people are unwilling to wrestle with, and so and that's where I feel like the true believer versus cynical manipulation really start to like it's almost like a Venn diagram. So he's got his true beliefs. He's also got narratives that like bolster these true beliefs and like almost act as prophecy for his new religion that he's created around like politics and religion. But he's so any of this like chinks in the armor or this new bombshell that's coming out that would throw sand in the gears of this pedo ring that we're trying to like take down. It has to be absorbed delicately, let's say it by him, and he can't go out and like throw certain people, powerful people under the bus. There always has to be a cabal underneath all of it that cannot be explained, so to speak.
All right, I hope everyone was able to follow that. No, I lost you several minutes ago because there was a lot of he's and they's and I lost track of who he and they were.
So there's a vagary that have to be there, and that's part of the narrative.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's so when I say like he's and they's, obviously like they is always a word that people use to say, oh, they're trying to control the population. They are trying to do starvation tactics, or they are trying to do this and that. So right now, as a matter of fact, there are certain elements within the let's just say MAGA community that are asking for the resignation of like Pam Bondi and a couple of these other people that are up there, and they all assume that there's like some nefarious group underneath these people that are like calling the shots. And this is where like again, in order to maintain the narrative, there has to be some shadowy government figure, or like not even government so to speak, but just some kind of shadowy control that is making these good people, Bondi and Trump, let's just say them, and all these other people, like they're being controlled by this like Bilderberg group or like.
Who's controlling our mayor?
I don't know that his reins go all the way up that high, but I think that he has some very important people within North Carolina, legislature and politics that are grooming him to be.
And that's how you use the word correctly.
There you go. That are grooming him to be a certain type of politician that they feel like can go in and do the things necessary to create this new form of government that we're, basically watching be birthed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. which is, I mean, at this point we are kind of living through history, whether we like it or not. I mean, as big of a game changer as like the New Deal was, I mean, we're basically living through the dismantling of all of that.
Yeah.
Right before our eyes, and it's I don't know, it's a little depressing. I walk around drinking beers most days.
Yeah.
Because of it.
Yeah. I have a pretty bad Coke habit myself.
Yeah.
And Coca-Cola, they're not officially a sponsor, but pay attention. Maybe they will be one day.
Glad you cleared that
Yeah.
up.
Quick shout out to my homies, by the way, that can change their mind when faced with new evidence.
Right.
3 or 4 people that are still clamoring for the Epstein files.
Yeah.
All right, what's next on our list?
Well, so this kind of piggybacks off of what we were talking about right there. But the one of the main things that really kind of motivates me in Change for Monroe is trying to make our politics like more useful again. And what I have written down here is soap opera politics versus boring civil service. And I think that part of the reason that we're seeing such a, just the animosity within our system right now is that you have a certain element of people who don't have it in their skill set to be that boring civil servant and make government work in that way. And and instead of doing that, they're being the showy, brick thrower that's coming in to like dismantle these institutions who are stealing your tax money and propping up all these pedos and Comet Pizza and all this other stuff like that. So it's like we've really become, it's basically we're WWE now and the idiocracy.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Please do.
To the surprise of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor showed us his certificate, my friend. He showed it up.
Very sorry.
That he has completed a course and now knows
right.
what a mayor is supposed to do, what he has not been doing, and I believe since he was so showy with it, that he is taking it to heart as an actual accomplishment. I'm just fucking with you.
I was going to say, insert laugh track.
Yeah.
It would be bad.
I mean, it astounds me that he walked into this role, that you're the mayor of a municipality, fucking fix some potholes, make sure the street lights are on, and he's just gone crazy on this other nonsense. And I believe, a lot of people call it a distraction, and it is, but it's a distraction from the fact that he doesn't know how to govern. He doesn't have any initiatives on his own. The only thing that I've ever heard that man talk about in this city, as far as stuff that we're doing, in a positive light, was like the airport and these $1 million businesses that he's courting. And it's like, hey, dude, people are hungry. Housing is getting out of control.
Violence is an issue.
I'm not gonna lie. That airport is not at the top of my list.
Not at anybody's. Like literally, probably, you want to talk about small percentages of people. There's a fraction of people in Monroe that give a shit. Like,
and I guess this kind of goes back to that whole like cult leadership thing, where when we bring up to people who follow him enthusiastically, to say the least, and we're like, dude, he just keeps talking about this airport. Well, the airport's good. How? Why for you? Why is this better than having your rent or mortgage become an affordable price?
Right. Well, and one other thing that I brought up to him in this infamous conversation that I keep saying, I mean,
wasn't that famous.
No.
Simmer down.
Yeah. So we literally had like a 3-hour conversation, and we touched on a range of issues. But one of the things that I brought to his attention is like he was at one point. This has been about a year ago. He was touting this. I think it was a French company come in called Riolf or something like that. That was like gonna put their very first North American factory was going to be in Monroe, and that was a huge get for us, right?
And they made brie?
No, I'm not even sure what the hell they make. I looked at
what was their raison d'etre. There's a little context for you. Now you might be able to figure out what
that's a callback. See, we're getting professional with this, but no. But no, it's like so he was very happy about this new company that was coming in, or a well-established European company, I should say, that was coming in and was going to be giving Monroe like a bunch of of manufacturing jobs and steady work for Monroe residents and all this. He really kind of went to town on promoting this thing. And yes, that's what like mayors should do. Like that was in one instance that was me like saying, bravo.
Yeah.
This is what, like, you should be a cheerleader for Monroe economic stimulation and these companies coming in. But the one thing that he refused to acknowledge is that this was a program set up by Roy Cooper, and so he like literally. So this was like again, and just to remind everybody, Kevin and I are unaffiliated voters. So I just want good things to happen for the city, the country, the world, for that matter. I don't really care who does it, but this guy goes beyond. I mean, he just really goes out of his way, I should say, to really just really just trash the shit out of like Roy Cooper. And I think like he's so creative by calling Josh Schleim, and I'm like, oh. Fuck yeah! I mean,
ooh, well, no, I mean that's not subtle at all. I'm not going to use some of those words, but yeah, holy shnikes.
I mean, you can be a little bit more creative than that. I mean, I know he took some fucking hits on the field, but I mean, I just anyway. So, point being, is this guy is a hopeless partisan, and that's the thing that we're trying to get rid of. I mean,
so let's talk about that because he turned the Monroe election into a partisan election, and we talked very well with Dottie about that, and we thank her for her time, and I'm not going to rehash that because one day that episode. So like, stop here, go watch that episode, and then come back. That one will be up later on. But recently we just watched at the national level every single Republican protect the Epstein files and every single Democrat trying to get it released.
Right.
Do you think that will affect the mayor's opinion of how he takes everything so partisan? Do you think that we can get a little bit of...
Fuck no.
So...
No. So, I mean...
Bullshit or true believer?
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm serious, man. I'm like torn on which side of that I fall on each individual.
Guys, it's been a year. It's been a year. Stephen and I every time, like, we're sitting down, and if there's like an awkward silence for like 3 seconds, we're like, okay, but you got to tell, do you think he's a true believer, or does he know that he's lying to you?
Right. So I will share this one little anecdote of us. When we were first putting together Change for Monroe, and we were really starting to kind of like get serious about this, I was listening to one of his, or like, what was it? I think it was a Facebook post because like, a friend of his had like put out some kind of like, this is what communists want to do in America to like control the children and turn all your
frogs gay.
The frogs. Yeah, I was gonna say your dogs, but yeah, but so and I was like, hey, red alert, guys! Burns read this book and is now like, he becomes sentient and is like understands the plan. And Kevin goes, what did you say?
That motherfucker has never read a book.
And
I still stand by it.
No, but later
the one book that he claims to know really well, he still hasn't even read that one.
No, right? Yeah, he still like omits certain parts of that one. We're talking about the Bible.
The Bible. Yes. It was the Bible.
Yes. So go back and read it.
Something about feeding the hungry and helping the poor.
And balls.
And buying them all airports. Wait a minute, no, different book.
Throwing stones and whatnot. Who should do them? Yeah, who should throw them? What a dumb bitch. I get it.
She literally used an analogy.
Yes. Like,
she gets up there, she says all these, verses that she works to like fit her. And then she's like, when I throw stones, it's like, don't throw the first one.
Yeah.
That's right there.
So her quote was, and she wrote this down, looked at it, and thought it was the best fucking gotcha ever. I know. And but it was...
good job, me.
It was, if I throw a stone and you holler, that means you've been hit. First off...
I don't think she said holler, I think she said yell.
Oh, okay. Well,
holler is too
scream or something like that. But it was that, like, kind of, like that structure right there. And first off, fucking terrible structure. Like, it's just dumb as fuck, like, first off. But second off, there's an entire scripture and an entire doctrine based around What?
Don't throw stones!
I mean, seriously, like crazy. Like, and again, the fact that I have to explain that to a devout Christian who is above all of us just lets you know that, again, they're fucking bullshitters. Like, so, damn it, I just won. Kevin won, sorry.
No, because I really,
Yeah.
the fun part is you know, there was a guy that I was stationed with years ago, and he would talk and, you know, and be like, hey, you know, we missed you, you're supposed to show up, and he'd like, oh, see, what happened was, and that's, you know, and that's how I feel like we are just caught in a series of, see, what happened was, so it was like last month, it's like, hey, show us the Epstein files. This month, it's like, well, the files don't exist, and they're not coming out.
There are none?
And then now, like, Burns is like turning around to us. It's like, okay, see, what happened was,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
is that Hunter's laptop was corrupted by the files.
Yeah. Oh,
And
I didn't even think about that.
and-
Maybe the Epstein files are on Hunter Biden's laptop.
and Hillary flew them over to Benghazi. And so now there's an issue
Yeah.
with emails
Yeah.
because they can't email them from Hunter's laptop from Benghazi.
Right.
You know, it's just,
Blah, blah, blah.
it's a whole mess.
Yeah, it really is.
All right.
So, this is what I'll leave you with as far as conspiracy brain thinking. What really frustrates me about conspiracy brain thinking is I have my own fucking conspiracies. And they don't get taken seriously because these assholes have stupid conspiracy theories. Like,
I'm interrupting.
Okay.
All right, folks.
Yes.
If you decide to turn it off right now, I'm going to leave you with these few thoughts. One, Stephen believes that the Earth is round.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
He does not believe that we're floating on the back of a turtle.
It's an ovoid spherical.
No.
Okay.
He knows that the Earth is round.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to turn it off and be like, man, he was about to say that the Earth is flat. No. We went to school.
Yes.
We know that that's not true.
Yes.
So now continue with your.
I'm not going to go into depth because I was chastised for wanting to bring it up. So I will.
The Earth is round.
Yes, the Earth is definitely.
Okay,
round.
as long as we get that out there.
Can we just call it round-ish?
No. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Technically.
Yes. Yeah.
Because of physics and centrifugal force, yes, it's not a perfect speed.
Yeah.
But, okay.
That's not it. Anyway, so my own conspiracy theories are fucking real. Damn it.
Well, then they're not conspiracy theories,
Yeah.
they're just theories.
No, you're right. Yeah, sorry.
And if they're proven to be real, they're not even theories anymore.
Right.
It's very much this is happening and everyone should start paying attention.
Of course. Yeah.
For example, why are houses so expensive?
Oh, damn, you're going to put me on the spot like that, right?
Well, it's the easiest one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I won't. It just goes down to like a breakdown of like labor and, available space, all this other stuff. But I mean, it is a problem that we need to deal with. That's for that's for sure. And the thing that I will say about like the conspiracy brain is that there's always a they that has to be subjugated in order to solve the conspiracy theory. So again, it's like it's either immigrants or like let's be honest, like the LGBT
The Pentaverate.
community. Yeah,
The Colonel.
yes.
Beady eyes.
There's always somebody in a dark room trying to get one over on you or like change government forever or all this other stuff. So, but my conspiracy theories can point to actual people who are or who are trying to manipulate the powers that be in order to have either like monetary or societal gain. That's the way I'll say it like that. But and just to like kind of close the door on the Epstein thing, we talked about this and like there are, if you want to call the Epstein thing a conspiracy, I'm okay with that. There obviously were people who conspired to do bad things. The conspiracy now though is the fucking cover up. And the worst part about it is that these same people who are trying to cover it up used it in order to gain power and manipulate an entire nation into believing their horse shit. So, again, I think that there's, I tell you what, we talked about this earlier too. Like, there's a certain point to where like I start sounding like Alex Jones. And I can point to Alex Jones and be like, that motherfucker is nuts. But, you know, at some point you start talking about like, you know, selling public lands and like chips and brains and, and like, you know, compiling like, you know, databases on all, you know, Americans and all this other stuff. And you really, you know, you start having to like don the tinfoil hat.
All right, I got a fun one for you.
Please.
And breaking my own rules that you love. So I already see you smiling.
Yeah, yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell has not been living in the country. She moved out of the country.
Right.
And was recently, as of like a week or so, not even a week ago, threatened to have her citizenship from America stripped.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
I don't recall any recent beefs that have arisen with Rosie O'Donnell that would prompt this attack.
No,
Like,
Rosie
what-
O'Donnell is his go-to.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Trump, that's what, by the way. Sorry.
we just celebrated the anniversary of an assassination attempt. And
Celebrated might not be the right word.
no, it was not celebrating. No, that's true. We're not celebrating. We are not celebrating that.
Yeah,
It was the anniversary of the attack.
Yeah, yeah.
And nothing. He has not spoken about the guy who tried to kill him,
Right, yeah.
or that guy's family, or that guy's coworkers,
Yeah.
or that. You want to talk about conspiracy theories? I'm open to ideas on this one, folks. That, you know, on the anniversary, instead of going after the guy who tried to kill him, he's going after Rosie O'Donnell. You know, and I feel like that's kind of an interesting take on what's happening around the world.
So here's what's going on right there, Kevin. Squirrel!
Well, I mean, I tell you what, as soon as he tweeted about Rosie O'Donnell, I forgot completely about the Epstein files.
Same.
I mean,
so it worked. It worked.
It worked.
Yeah. So
all right, let's wrap this up.
we're gonna do it.
And
I've got a phrase here, or a whole section here called closing.
ooh,
Yeah.
well, I mean, that's kind of cleverly named.
Right.
You already get 5 points for that.
So it's basically it's a call to action, more or less, guys. I won't go back into the whole, you know, like, please send us money for good things that we want to do. But yes, please go to our website, changefrommonroe.com. There's a donate button there. There's, you know, merch and things like that. So if you know, have some spare change, we will definitely put it in the tip jar and send you a
If
t-shirt.
you have ideas about how we could raise money, we sure would appreciate that. Because so far, t-shirts is not bringing in the big bucks, but
Right.
you enjoy them.
Yeah.
We're not wearing them today, which is just, well, that's just shit planning. But we'll work on that for next time.
Well, while you're cajoling the people into, you know, for their ideas, like, we want ideas for podcasts too, and that actually goes right into my closing as well. So the thing that we really want you guys to do is to start articulating what would be good change in Monroe. And you do that by commenting on our Facebook page, you know, like coming out to our social events and talking to us directly and saying, hey, these are the things that I would like to see. Or, you know, it could be just a simple thing of like putting out into the world like things that make you happy even. Because one thing that we kind of all need right now are distractions, you know, and things that, you know, raise the spirits of people. Because, not to get too heavy, but like the one thing that authoritarians don't like is happy subjects. So please be, you know, put out into the world the things that you would like to see. Be like visible, like, you know, again, this goes back to the, you know, the t-shirts and showing up to all the events that we have in Monroe. Be visible, be happy in public.
Be the change.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. So, but being happy in public. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
The mayor tried to.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
I still think he did that on purpose.
No, he did it on purpose, but it's like one of those ironical things. It's kind of like, you know, like, dude, you're in power. You know, like, you don't go to a protest if you hold office because you are the one in power to make change.
Well, it also lets me know that, like, he doesn't know where the fuck that phrase come from. Like, so
you think change is a word that confuses?
No, well, I guess, yeah. I mean, well, all the changes that he wants to make are, just horrible. So anyway, point being is like, being happy is in the times that we're in right now, just being happy in public, with people is a political act in and of itself. And it's, again, we need you guys to really kind of express with us so that we can express to potential, candidates, what the people in the community would like to see. And, once they get wind of what you would like to see, they'll regurgitate that back to you. They will, they can build policies on that. They can, run an entire campaign on the things that you guys say you want to see all the time. So again, all just really stems from us being together in public, doing good things for the community. Please, with any comments or questions or ideas, any of that stuff, you can email us both at like Stephen or Kevin at changefrommonroe.com. Is that right?
Yeah, just to be clear, it's not Stephen or Kevin.
Right, yeah.
It's Stephen at changefrommonroe.com, or you can also try Kevin at changefrommonroe.com.
And you can send us a message through Facebook or Instagram. And speaking of those two social media pages, we desperately need somebody to run our social media pages. And so we've had people in the past who've done a fairly decent job, but people are busy.
People are busy.
Yeah, and we're looking for somebody permanent who wants to kind of take over that thing. So, and it would just be.
If you are against cursing in general, please don't apply, because we want a lot of F-bombs dropped out there. That's what we want to put out into the world.
Right, sir. So anyway, that's what we got for you guys tonight. I hope this was entertaining, and that we imparted a little bit of wisdom.
Burned, you absolute potato.